Hey guys, it's me again, back at it. Haven't made a video in a while, so just checking back in. I'm gonna try to do this more often, but life gets busy and it's crazy. But yeah, today, talk about. I'm actually on my way to the temple, so today I want to talk a little bit about religion. As you all know, the world, everybody has their own religion. You have Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, or excuse me, I'm not sure, is it Muslim, or, all these type of Hindu, all these types of Protestant, you can be Jewish, Hebrew, whatever. So all these different types of religion. Personally, I'm Buddhist, and what my parents believe in is a kind of a sector of Buddhism called Yahweh, which is like the local Buddhism in their in Vietnam, in their own in the village, I'd say, around the Southeast Asia, Vietnam. It's a really big religion. It's founded by a martyr that believed in Buddhism and fought against the French invading Vietnam. So he took part of trying to fight for his people and win back, try to get his country back, basically. So yeah. So I'm going down there to that temple, but overall I'm Buddhist. I would say most of my belief is from Buddhism, but I do have a lot of beliefs from other religions. I'm not the typical, I guess, religious person. I believe in an overall being, that oversees us, like Christianity. Like, there is a higher power, I believe. You can't just depict it in words, because I think men men translated what miracles they saw, and they say in the word of Islam, the word of Jesus Christ, and the words of whomever, Buddhism. But I think there's a higher being, and that would translate all these miracles and good and bad and evil and everything. So I think there is a higher being. I don't know who it is, but I do believe in good and faith and all those good stuff, right? And bad, there is evil too. I believe, there is, I'm not saying, like you said, the devil, but I believe there's a force that, that maybe wants you to do bad, or maybe the struggles in your life makes you do something bad. And I wouldn't say per se it's bad. I said, if you have the conscience of let's say there's a difference between what is bad, right? So, like, you can't take people take the Bible literally. Like, you can't do that, or take scriptures, and you can't take it literally, because let's say one of the commandments or whatever say thou shalt not steal or whatever, or I'm not sure that's one of the commandments, but just saying that's just everybody knows it's not good to steal. But let's say a mother that's starving, and her child is starving, and because of her environment, put her in a really tough situation. If she steals a piece of bread to feed her, her children, I don't think that's a sin. Now you see these white collar men that have millions and millions and billions that steal. That, I believe, is a sin, because you already have enough. Once you don't have enough, I believe, when you don't have anything, obviously, you're doing what to survive. That's basic instincts of human being, right? But you have enough, I think that then it becomes a moral and a conscious decision that you're saying, I want more, or that's greed, right? So a mother stealing for her kids to eat is not a sin. So that's how I perceive religion. I don't perceive it as, this man he's the Buddha, or this man is Jesus Christ and he came to save the earth. You know what? I believe in there's a higher being that sent these people down to save the world, remind us that there is good deeds and there is, humanity and the faith and, and all these. Because in times of turmoil and disbelief, sometimes the world's so tough around you, you just have nothing else, And I think the higher being that created all this, created humans, created all the species on Earth, human life, the grass, the trees, everything around you, the air you breathe. That higher being reminds you that, why, honestly, because when you do a good deed, you feel so good. Like, you just feel good. I don't know about you, but, everyone on this earth is like, wow, I did something good. I did something good for society. I did something good for myself. You feel good. And that's a natural chemistry. And why is that? I think there's because there has to be something said about that when, you do a good deed, the higher power reminds you of what we're here to do. We're here to help each other expand our knowledge as much as possible and help everything in the universe and live in peace. And that's what we're really here to do. You say I'm an optimist and say I'm a hippie or whatever, believe in all that. But why does that feel so good then? Like, why does love feel so good when you find the right person for you? Why does that feel so good? And when you do something bad, when you do something evil, it feels good in a way where it's like, yeah, I got him, or yes, I got that. But at the end, when you're sleeping in bed, you're like, damn, dude, I didn't want to do that shit. I didn't want to fucking steal, or excuse my language, I didn't want to do that. But, sometimes your environment makes you want to do stuff like that. So that's understandable. But let's say, that's called conscience, so some people have a conscience, some people don't. It's how, and I also believe, and sometimes for the man that does do sin or do evil, you always gotta look at the situation. Maybe he didn't have a good upbringing that showed him the path, that showed him the right ways. So you can't blame that man either. I believe it comes into conscience. If you have the capacity to believe or capacity to know, and you still make that wrong decision, then it becomes a sin. That's when it becomes a sin. Or I wouldn't even say that. I don't like to use the word sin. I would say like a bad deed, like something that's not good. Because sinning, the context and I guess you can say sin, right? But that's how I feel about that subject. As far as world, religion, I myself go to the temple and believe in Buddhism. Because sometimes, and I also, I went to the Catholic school, I read the Bible, I did research on, a little bit of research on like Islamic and Muslim and all that. So I do have and I try to read Psalms and a little bit of Hinduism, but not much. I can't even say I can really touch on that. But just saying that I kind of been out there, I've read a lot, and I kind of, theology, I study a little, just saying that I know a little bit about the subject, And I believe that sometimes in life you need that just faith to say, like, when you're broken down and you haven't, you feel like you need to talk to somebody, And if your parents are not around, whoever's around, and sometimes you need to just talk to yourself, help me, try to motivate yourself, help me through this. God, whoever it is, Buddha, whatever it is, that higher being, you reach out to them, and and you can't see it because that higher being is invisible. It's a supernatural thing, so you can't see it, but it's there. Or you believe it's there. You try to believe it's there, and that gives you hope, and that's what sometimes all you need to keep going. And honestly, the reason I believe, because I've seen stuff that you just can't say it's a coincidence, you've seen good things happen to good people, and you say, or a hardworking man, it's not through, through just luck or skill, there has to be something said, like I don't want to bring this a little bit, but let's say we were playing cards, they say it takes 80% talent and 20% luck. And where does that luck come from? It's there's supernatural things you can't explain. I think that plays a part of it. Like God, Buddha, Allah, whomever it is, Vishnu. But that higher being, that higher superpower that helps people through bad times, I believe is there. And when you pray to it, it listens to you. And it says this individual right here believes in something. He believes in something good. So in that nature, I would like to grant him more goodness, or more positive things that come towards his life. And when you pray, you don't pray like, I want this, I want that. You pray sometimes just for yourself, just like it feels good. Obviously, that's why people go to church. It feels good. Like I said, it feels good doing good. So having that faith, having that hope, doing good deeds, for the community, for charity. That's where we're all trying to be at, right? That's why we go to church. We donate towards, these foundations that help the poor, or people that in times of need, right? So you bring your towards good positive energy, and the energy will come back. And that's what the whole karma comes into it. Karma is a big thing. You shouldn't go like, I'm gonna go do a good deed so something comes back. You should do a good deed, so that it makes you feel good, and it helps others, and it genuinely wanting to help people. And that's what it's all about. There's been times in my life I didn't believe, and I just lost hope, and those are the worst time of my life, to be honest with you. So I feel like the best times of my life is where I helped others, believed, prayed, try to be a good man. That's the part of my life I feel like I was probably most successful, to be honest with you. The times where I was reckless, didn't believe, just say F it, kind of, those were the worst time of my life, where maybe it's risky, sometimes taking the chances. But at the end of the day, you do it for a good cause, honestly. Nobody can hate on you for that, If you're grinding to feed your family, you're grinding to feed people, do good things. Kind of like a Robin Hood thing, which is good. My overall goal on this planet, on this earth, and people may think I'm crazy, is I tell people again, like, I'm gonna save the earth, like, and that's why I truly believe. I truly, genuinely believe, and I kind of, they say that you shoot for the stars and hopefully you reach the skies, right? So that's one of the things. Like, I just say I'm gonna save the earth, or the world, the people, the planet, and obviously, it's really unrealistic, or maybe a miracle will happen. That's the only time that you'll see that. But I just try to believe that and keep aspiring to that. So it motivates me to try to do this. I really do. I feel like no man on earth should live in poverty, should live, food, clothing, and education, and health. Essentials of a human being. I feel that, in the days of the caveman, right? You're hunting, you're surviving, and there's animals. I understand back then, like, that's unrealistic, because you're literally, we didn't have enough knowledge. We couldn't protect ourselves from the wilderness. But this day and age, I'm talking to you guys, this day and age, we have the technology, the resources, and the abundance of things on earth. Literally, they can plant stuff in the desert now. I'm telling you, technology can produce, and there's resources for everybody on this earth. We should not be paying. This goes into a whole nother subject, as I talked into, like, financials and stuff. But and this is a little bit me preaching, but I feel like the monetary financial system taken over, and people exploited us over this system, right? Because now We are almost on the brink. I would say, like, maybe even at this point, we can start revolutionizing the way humankind exists, or people on this earth exist. I mean, if everybody can get fed, if everybody can get educated, and if everybody can have clean health care, I mean, what is else there needed? You know, you can worry about less time having to survive and more time developing, engineering, and producing technologies or science, or you know, innovative stuff to help mankind. You know, and I believe we do have at this point in our existence, you know, as our species, that we can really take advantage of that. But of course, the guys that's holding all the money right now, and they honestly, they probably earned it every cent, you know, pass it down to the generation. They don't want to give it up, which is understandable, and I understand that completely. But I think deep down inside, and then they if they can help the earth globally in a platform where everybody, you know, can get fed, and they can help the human species as an overall, I think that's the way to go, because for us to survive, for us to be innovative, and you know, for future generations, this is where we got to be at. You know, like, why can't we be you know, Star Wars? You know, why can't we be in that situation where we have everybody on earth is peace, living in peace, there's abundance of, now we go try to find different species and communicate with them and help them. You know, once we help ourselves, we can help others, right? There's a saying, you can't love other beings, or you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. So until we love each other as a species, to love ourselves, we will not get to that second level. You know, and all it takes, of course, I'm a guy, and there's, I'm saying, not to be sexist, but women or men have egos, you know, and that's what holding all this behind. And I totally understand that, because at one point in my life, I was just as bad as the next man. So I think, I'll bring it back that to religion. That's where you find yourself. That's where religion helps, and it brings you back to a place where you can remember all the good things and why it's good to do good deeds. You know, to be honest with you, I was shook when I was a bad, you know, living a time in my life being a terrible person. Bad things happening, maybe I got really scared. You know, that's maybe even fear plays into that, of why I started going back and believing. But at the end of the day, it was more of trying to find life and why we exist, you know, in philosophy, and how can I'm hurting. This is what really, honestly, when I was in terrible times, I always thought to myself, I'm hurting. I'm in, you know, as a human being, I'm hurting. And that made me like, why am I hurting? One, so I changed myself from being hurt, from being, you know, feeling good. And then two, if I'm hurting, there's other people hurting. And that feeling, I don't think it should happen. You know, of course, there's downs and ups in your lives, and that's what make the struggle really, you know. But that hurt is I was just hurting just mentally, but there's people hurting like physically and mentally, meaning they don't have enough to eat, so they're starving, and physically they're hurting, and mentally they're hurting. You know, you don't want to live in a depressed environment or suppressed environment that makes you really feel terrible. So that's when I'm like, you know what, I don't want to feel like this no more. I don't want to feel like this, and nobody should feel like this no more. And you know, that's why religion helps. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea of my beliefs. I'm not telling anybody to do whatever. They can do whatever they want. This is just my personal feelings, you know. And I hope you guys enjoy the video of my, you know, but this is my, maybe I should show you a little bit of my temple. And I really respect my temple because it's very humble. These are everyday people, everyday lives, and they're you know, they're giving money to the temple to build a temple for the people to pray, because sometimes you need a place. You need a place. And, you can always pray in your heart. You don't need to go anywhere, but if you did, there is a place. So that's what these are average everyday people coming together and having a place for a monastery for people to pray. And sometimes you just need to pray. Like you need to pray because you lose hope, or you kind of need enlightenment. You kind of need faith. So it's a place for people to come and pray. And that's cool. All temples, monasteries, every cross religion, people that build temples or churches, or anything that you go to make yourself feel some sane, or even at peace, which is very good. So it's not a big temple, just to give you guys that. It might be like, wow, this is like going to a house almost, and it kind of what it is, but we make what it is. We make the best of what it is, and you keep believing, you keep striving, you keep good things will come, right? So we're trying to expand the temple. At this point, there's not of this Buddhist sector, there's not a lot of people. So obviously, and this is because all these people from in Vietnam, this is their local religion in Vietnam at that certain area in Vietnam. So all these people are from a certain area in Vietnam and came together and like, wow, we're in America. I didn't know, you guys, and they all kind of got together and like, oh, we should build our temple that we have in our hometown in America, because it makes you feel a little bit at home. You got to understand these people are immigrants and refugees, and came to the United States for refuge, and this is their home religion. I would say their homeland religion, and they brought it over to America. And that's what makes America so beautiful, because there's so much corruption and all this BS going on, but America gives you an opportunity that no other country in the world can. I mean, obviously, yeah, I couldn't say that, but there's other countries like Canada that believe in freedom and believe in all that, and Switzerland, Sweden. I know those like countries that have universal healthcare kind of thing, kind of a helping each other kind of mentality. In those countries, you really thrive, and especially in America too. So I couldn't leave those countries out. But the research they've done, that the greatest countries on earth to live in and all that. So those countries that do give people opportunity to pray or practice their beliefs is awesome, is great, and America is one of them. So at the end of the day, I am grateful to be an American, and I am, I believe in American society. The whole we believe thing, that every human being, deserves rights, natural rights, all those, that's moral and ethic. The core beliefs of America. The core beliefs of America is what makes America great. Now people are distorting a little bit with greed, with money and all that. That's not the core beliefs of America. What made this country great is different people from different backgrounds coming together, working together. And that is the essential of the human being existence. If we can all work together, we can do a lot of great things for our species. So I'll give you guys a glimpse, just because I'm in the car talking. It's probably a boring video. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of my temple, and then I'm going inside and obviously pray. And you guys have a great day, okay? Thanks for listening, and I'll check you guys out next time. Bye. It's a little rainy today, so bear with it. It's kind of muggy out. This is in the summertime or something. People go out to pray. Hello, Daju. So there is lotus leaves in the summertime over there. Can't really see it right now. Like I said, it's winter. Yeah, it's a really humble temple. I'll put this under my religious category, so you guys can check that out. But like honestly, this was what it is. Like, here it goes. All right, guys.